We finally survived the last 3 episodes of the Harkles Horrormentary, and boy, there's so much to dissect in there, and especially the part where Harry has these recollections of the meetings pre-Megxit. And I have to give you a warning. None of this makes sense for reasons that you're about to find out. Welcome back, my Body Language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language guy. And it all starts with the words "I sent an email to the 3 most senior private secretaries saying," because this was about, well, this is the way that we are going to work. These are the options that Meghan and I are juggling with, that Harry wants to or likes to juggle. Let's get together and have a meeting. Let's talk about this. According to him, because what was happening, what was playing out in public was crazy. Okay, besides of the usual Harkles crazy, according to him, it was the mainstream media who had completely lost the plot. But going forward, that meeting was rejected. And it was only once Meg had left and gone back to Canada, because, well, Archie was in Canada, that it was then arranged that there was going to be a meeting at Sandringham of the following Monday. So they are at this point implying that, well, they didn't want Meghan on that sensitive Megxit meeting. We're talking that there's the officials, there's the Charles, Prince at the moment, the Queen, and of course William. Now let's hear Meghan's feelings about this.
Conversation about the future of your life when the stakes are this high, and you as the mom and the wife, the target, aren't invited to have a seat at the table.
It was clear to me that they planned it so that you weren't in the room.
Notice how Meghan picks her words very carefully. Imagine a conversation, a round table discussion about the future of your life when the stakes are this high. Which stakes? And you as the mom and the wife, she is making it personal, she is making it as a person. Well, in some ways she is right, but you know that she knows how to pull at the heartstrings. And the target in many regards, not Harry. Meghan was the target of everything that the palace was planting about her in the media, in her own words. And the target in many regards aren't invited to have a seat at the table. So Harry's trying to close the topic. It was clear to me that they planned it so that you weren't in the room. Oh yeah, of course, because you know what? She's not that royal. Now let's see if you can spot the contradiction in here. I went in with the same proposal that we'd already, made publicly. But once I got there, I was given 5 options. One being all in, no change. It's like you have 5 options, and number 1 is no change. You stay the way it is. 5 being all out. I chose option 3 in the meeting. Half in, half out. What they had, or someone had leaked to the press. Have our own jobs, but also work in support of the Queen. And you will remember that was the Queen who explicitly was against this idea because, well, there's this conflict of interest that at which point are you a private citizen and at which point are you a working royal? It became very clear very quickly that goal was not up for discussion or debate. What? It was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me, and I'm he's saying this, and there's this slight smile on his face. I don't know if he's mocking. I don't know if his recollections may vary. I don't know if William actually shouted at him because, well, in many ways he deserved that. But let's backtrack a bit so you realize what is the contradiction here. He says, we're going back, I went in with the same proposal that we'd already, made publicly. And, well, he said that. Maybe it was asleep. we'd already made publicly. Didn't he say previously that it was a leak? And once it leaked, then it could no longer be done. That's why they had to discuss it in a meeting. Oops, maybe Harry had a slip of the tongue, or maybe he forgot the script. Well, but once I got there, I was given. He's saying that the family gave him 5 options. And he chose option 3, half in, half out. And then everyone went insane. Everyone lost their minds. And William began to shout and yell. And I don't understand. So he went to this meeting with his father, with William and the Queen. And they gave him 5 options. And he picked one of these options. And everyone started to yell and scream. Or William started to yell and scream. Didn't they give these options to him? Does it make sense to you? They give him these options. He chooses one and they begin to complain. If they were not going to negotiate about that third option, that middle option, half in, half out, that they allegedly offer him in his own recollections, then why did they offer that option if they were not willing to negotiate it? Does this make sense to you, my battle language buddies? And my father say things that just simply weren't true. What were those things? And my grandmother, quietly sit there. I don't understand why. Still has that smile on his face. Look at him. He has like some kind of a smirk talking about that moment. I don't know if he finds that funny to have this clash with his family, but whatever. But he quotes, and I quote, "And my grandmother, quietly sit there." That's going to be important later on because I'm going to show you another piece of this horror-mentary that would also be a contradiction with this. We move forward and sort of take it all in. The Queen was taking all in. People around her are telling her, and notice this, people around her are telling her, by the way, that proposal or these two doing XYZ, it's going to be seen as an attack on the institution. Then she's gonna go on the advice that she's given. She's implying that the Queen had no agency, that the decision that she made was because some advisors that, well, he might be implying William, told her that whatever Harry and Meghan wanted, keep working, for the monarchy, that would be an attack on the monarchy, actually. So it's like the Queen didn't know what she was doing. She needed the advice of these people who just, poison her mind. I think Harry has been binge watching too many Disney movies. And this is the worst part. Yeah, there is a worst part. I mean, the saddest part of it was this wedge created between myself and my brother, so that he's now on the institution's side. And I get, part of that I get. So you are either on the family, your brother's side, or the institution's side. I think Harry, lost the plot. I understand, right? That's his inheritance. To some extent, it's already ingrained in him that part of his responsibility is the survivability and the continuation of this institution. And maybe that's why he said in the first 3 episodes that he married Kate not for love, but because that she fit the mold of the institution. And then look at this. Harry goes all in. That day, a story came out saying that part of the reason why Meghan and I were leaving was because William had bullied us out. And this is a remark of that supposed bullying. Princess fell out because William wasn't friendly towards Meghan. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing is being a bully, and against Harry, because remember, Meghan was not in the meeting. And another thing is William not being friendly towards Meghan. And you remember that the only thing we have a recollection of is William told Harry, hey, just take it a bit slower. And that was before getting married to Meghan. So the reason why Meghan and I were leaving was because William had bullied us out. And you think you're going to expect that Harry is going to say that this is misinformation. But no, you thought wrong. And once I got in the car after the meeting, I was told about a joint statement. I was told I never was involved in that joint statement that had been put out in my name and my brother's name, squashing the story about him bullying us out of the family. So Harry is doubling down on the supposed story that William bullied them out of the family. I couldn't believe it. No one had asked me. No one had asked me permission to put my name to a statement like that. So he's saying that it wasn't true, that William actually bullied them out of the family. And I rang Am and I told her, and she burst into floods of tears because within 4 hours they were happy to lie to protect my brother. And yet for 3 years, they were never willing to tell the truth to protect us. And Meghan says, suddenly what clicked in my head was it's never gonna stop. Every rumor, every negative thing, every lie, everything that I knew wasn't true, and that the palace knew wasn't true, and internally they knew wasn't true, that was just being allowed to fester. And Harry said, we need to get out of here. Now, I wanted you to remember that part and he was talking about his grandmother, and notice this idea that I supposedly blindsided my grandmother, this would never happen. I have so much respect for her. Didn't you greenlight Netflix to air this garbage, knowing that the Queen was going to know about it? It must be a strange feeling to feel relieved because your grandmother died. And you have to listen to this, the ultimate hypocrisy.
Never needed to.
But in 2017 and 2020, I wanted out of royal life long before Megxit. That is his own words. But way before Megxit, he wanted out of royal life. And in 2022, right now, he says we could have carried on doing this for the rest of our lives. This was from 2020. Prince Harry said he wanted out of royal life before today's surprise announcement. And in 2017, I wanted out, confesses Harry, the reluctant prince. Astonishingly candid interview reveals how he considered quitting his royal role for an ordinary life, but stayed for the Queen. But the greatest contradiction is this one. March 2021, Oprah interview. Meghan saved me from the firm. My father and brother are trapped. December 2022, William bullied us out of the family. Which one is it, Howie? Because the two mark totally different scenarios. In 2021, the action was made by Meghan, who saved Harry. But in 2022, the action was William, who kicked them out of the family. You realize that these two can't get their act together. And the worst part is that they keep getting away with this. And I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments of this video? My body language buddies, remember to join me in my locals community where I will be sharing videos that I don't share anywhere else. Remember the two most important words: much love and bliss.